What happens when the god of reliability bleeds? Picture this. It's a Tuesday morning in North Carolina. A guy named Marcus pulls out of his driveway in his brand new 2024 Toyota Tundra. Magnetic gray metallic, TRD Pro package, $75,000. He's had it for 3 weeks, 2,000 miles on the odometer. He's smiling because it's a Toyota, and Toyotas don't break. 10 miles later, he's on the shoulder of I-40. Engine light blazing like a Christmas tree. Limp mode. Truck won't go above 30 miles per hour. He calls the dealer. They tell him to get it towed in. Don't drive it. What's wrong with it? He asks. We'll need to check, but there's a recall. Engine debris. We might need to replace the whole motor. 2,000 miles. $75,000. And they're talking about replacing the engine. Marcus isn't some random guy who got unlucky. He's one of thousands. Thousands of people who paid what we call the Toyota tax. That extra $10, $15, $20,000 over a Ford or a Chevy because it's a Toyota and Toyotas last forever. Except this time, they didn't. Today I'm going to tell you the story of how the world's most reliable truck became a ticking time bomb. How Toyota went from building engines that lasted 1,000,000 miles to building engines that failed at 2,000. And why the Toyota tax might be the worst investment you can make in 2026. This isn't just about a recall. This is about the death of trust. Let's get into it. The legend of the 1,000,000-mile truck. To understand how catastrophic this is, you need to understand what Toyota meant to truck buyers. Toyota wasn't just a brand, it was a religion. There's a famous story in truck circles. A guy in Louisiana bought a Tundra in 2007, first-generation model, 5.7-liter V8, nothing fancy. He drove it for work, construction company, heavy use, towing trailers, hauling materials, Louisiana heat, Louisiana humidity, brutal conditions. That truck hit 1,000,000 miles. 1,000,000, and the engine was still original. The frame was original. It was still running. Toyota took that truck, studied it, put it in their museum, because it was proof. Proof that if you bought a Toyota, you weren't just buying a truck. You were buying peace of mind for the next 20 years. My grandfather told me something when I was a kid. He said, you don't buy a Toyota for the leather seats or the fancy stereo. You buy it because you know your grandkids will inherit that engine. And that wasn't marketing. That was reality. You could find 20-year-old Tacomas with 300,000 miles selling for $15,000, $20,000 because people knew they'd run another 100,000 easy. That's the Toyota tax, paying more because you're buying immortality. A new F-150? $55,000. A new Tundra? $65,000. Same features, same capability. But that extra 10 grand, that was the immortality fee, and people paid it happily because it wasn't a fee, it was an investment. I knew guys who'd drive past Ford and Chevy dealerships like they didn't exist. I only buy Toyota, they'd say, like it was a badge of honor. Toyota owners were loyal in a way other brands could only dream of. They didn't just own Toyotas, they believed in Toyota, past tense, because what I'm about to tell you shattered that belief like glass. The heart transplant gone wrong. In 2022, Toyota made a decision. The 5.7-liter V8, the engine that built the legend, the engine that hit 1,000,000 miles, the engine that never quit, was being discontinued. The new Tundra would have a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6. Now, I'll be fair, on paper it made sense. More power, better fuel economy, modern technology. But here's the thing about Toyota people. They didn't want modern technology. They wanted simple. They wanted proven. They wanted that big, naturally aspirated V8. That just worked. Toyota didn't listen. Trust us, they said. We've been testing this for years. It's the future. And at first, it seemed fine. The new Tundras were impressive. 400 horsepower. Towing capacity through the roof. Guys were trading in their old Tundras and upgrading. Then the reports started coming in. Check engine lights, loss of power, strange noises from the engine bay. At first, Toyota brushed it off. Isolated incidents, they said. We're looking into it. But it wasn't isolated. Trucks were failing at 5,000 miles, 3,000 miles. Some, like Marcus's truck, at 2,000 miles. And when mechanics started opening these engines up, they found something terrifying. Metal debris, shavings, fragments, inside the engine. Not from wear, not from a part failing during use, from the factory. Somehow, during manufacturing at Toyota's Alabama plant, metal debris was getting left inside these engines. And when the engine started running, those metal Fragments would circulate through the oil system, scoring cylinder walls, damaging bearings, destroying the engine from the inside. It's like if a surgeon left a scalpel inside a patient and just sewed them up. You don't notice immediately, but eventually that scalpel is going to move. It's going to cut something vital. These engines were ticking time bombs, and Toyota had sold tens of thousands of them. The official nightmare. In February of 2024, Toyota issued the recall. Not a small one. Not a come-in-when-convenient recall. A stop sale. A do-not drive. An emergency. Over 100,000 Tundras. Some Sequoias too, because they shared the same engine. The fix? There wasn't a simple one. You couldn't just drain the oil and clean it out. The debris had already done damage. The only solution was to replace the entire engine. But here's where it gets worse. To replace the engine on a Tundra, you have to do what's called a cab-off repair. You literally have to lift the entire cab of the truck off the frame to access the engine. Imagine that. You just paid $75,000, $80,000 for a brand new truck, and now it's sitting in a dealer service bay, completely disassembled. The cab is suspended in the air. The frame is sitting on the ground. The engine is being craned out. Your brand new truck looks like a parts catalog exploded, and you're supposed to trust that when they bolt it all back together, it'll be as good as it was from the factory. Except it wasn't good from the factory. That's why you're here. I talked to a guy in Texas who went through this. His Tundra had 4,000 miles. He'd owned it for 2 months. When I picked it up after the repair, he told me, I sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes just staring at it. I kept thinking, is this even the same truck anymore? Did they put every bolt back where it was supposed to go? What if they damaged something while they were taking it apart? He traded it in 3 months later, took a $15,000 loss just to get out of it. I couldn't trust it anymore, he said. Every time I started it, I wondered if today was the day it failed again. That's what this recall did. It didn't just damage engines, it damaged trust. And for Toyota, trust was everything. People started asking questions Toyota didn't want to answer. How does metal debris end up in an engine at the factory? What kind of quality control failure allows that to happen? How many engines are affected that haven't failed yet? Toyota's initial response was corporate speak. We take quality very seriously. We're working with affected customers. We apologize for the inconvenience. Inconvenience. Like getting your oil changed is an inconvenience. Having your $75,000 truck torn apart and rebuilt is not an inconvenience. It's a nightmare. And the worst part? Toyota couldn't even guarantee it wouldn't happen again. Some owners had their engines replaced, and then had the replacement engine fail, because the replacement engines came from the same manufacturing process. It was chaos. The Tacoma, a new victim? Now, here's where the story gets darker. The Tundra wasn't the only truck Toyota redesigned. In 2024, they also released a new generation Tacoma, the truck that built Toyota's truck reputation in the first place, the truck that held its value better than gold, the truck that off-road guys swore by. And guess what engine they put in it? A turbocharged 4-cylinder, not the tried-and-true V6 that had been in Tacomas for decades. A brand new forced induction high-strung 4-cylinder. It'll be fine, Toyota said. We've learned from our mistakes. This is different. Is it? Because we're already seeing reports of transmission problems on the new Tacoma. Harsh shifting, hesitation, some failures at low mileage. And the turbos? Those are new too. Long-term reliability? Unknown. We won't know for sure for a few years. But the Tacoma community, the hardcore off-road guys who've been loyal to Toyota for decades, they're nervous. Go on any Tacoma forum right now. Half the threads are people asking if they should buy the old generation instead of the new one. I don't trust the new stuff, one guy wrote. I'm finding a 2023 and holding on to it forever. That's not how it's supposed to work. People used to rush to buy the new Toyota because they knew it would be better than the old one. Now they're avoiding the new one because they're scared it won't last as long as the old one. That's a seismic shift. The Tacoma was untouchable. It was the one truck where the Toyota tax made complete sense because the resale value proved it. But if the new Tacoma follows the Tundra's path, if these transmissions and turbos start failing at 50,000 miles, the Tacoma stops being the safe bet. It becomes just another truck, and that's the end of an era. The moral of the story. So where does this leave us? Is Toyota dead? Is the reliability gone forever? I don't think so. Not yet. Toyota's still Toyota. They've been building reliable cars for 50 years. One bad engine doesn't erase that history. But here's what's changed. Toyota is no longer bulletproof. They're making the same mistakes other manufacturers make, rushing new technology to market, prioritizing fuel economy and power over simplicity and durability, cutting corners in manufacturing. The 5.7 V8, That engine was overbuilt. It was simple. It was proven. The twin-turbo V6? It's complex. It's new. It's unproven. And complexity is the enemy of reliability. I'm not saying don't buy a Toyota. I'm saying don't buy a Toyota blindly anymore. The days of it's a Toyota so it'll last forever are over. You need to do your homework. You need to wait and see if the new engines and transmissions prove themselves. And you need to ask yourself, is the Toyota tax still worth it? Because here's the thing, that extra $10,000 you pay for a Tundra over an F-150, that used to be insurance. Insurance that you'd never have a major problem. Insurance that the truck would outlast your mortgage. But if the Tundra has the same risk of catastrophic engine failure as any other truck, what are you paying for? The badge? The reputation? Reputation is earned. And right now, Toyota is spending the reputation they built over 50 years. They better hope they don't run out. The uncomfortable questions. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. If Ford had a recall where 100,000 F-150s needed complete engine replacements because of metal debris left in the engine at the factory, what would people say? That's Ford for you, falling apart as usual. It would confirm every stereotype, every joke, every reason people give for not buying American. But when Toyota does it, there's confusion, disbelief. How could this happen? It's a Toyota. That's the power of reputation. It buys you the benefit of the doubt. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This wasn't a design flaw that showed up after years of use. This wasn't a wear item that failed prematurely. This was a manufacturing quality control failure of catastrophic proportions. And manufacturing quality control is supposed to be Toyota's superpower. The Toyota production system is taught in business schools. It's the gold standard. So what happened? Did they get complacent? Did they prioritize speed over quality to get the new Tundra to market? Did they outsource too much? Did they cut costs in the wrong places? Toyota hasn't given us real answers, just corporate apologies. And that's not good enough when you're asking people to pay $75,000 for a truck based on your reputation. Outrow, look, I'll be honest with you. I miss the V8, I miss the simplicity. I miss the days when you could buy a Toyota truck and not think about it for 200,000 miles. And I bet Toyota misses those days too, because right now they're dealing with a crisis of confidence. Loyal customers are questioning whether to stay loyal. New buyers are looking at other options. The F-150 is looking real good right now. So is the Silverado. Hell, even the Ram is getting a second look from people who would have never considered it before. That's the cost of this recall, not just the money to replace the engines. The cost to the brand, the cost to trust. Can Toyota recover? Absolutely. They've got the resources, they've got the engineering talent, they've got the track record, but it's going to take time. And it's going to take them going back to what made them great in the first place. Building things that last, not chasing horsepower numbers, not trying to beat Ford at their own game. Just building trucks that you can count on. Because at the end of the day, that's all we really want. A truck that starts every morning. A truck that doesn't leave you stranded. A truck that you can hand down to your kids with pride. Toyota used to be the only company you could count on for that. Let's see if they can earn that trust back. So here's my question for you. Would you still buy a new Tundra today? Would you pay the Toyota tax in 2026? Or are you waiting to see if they can prove themselves again? Drop a comment. Let's talk about it. And if you want the truth about trucks that the dealers won't tell you, hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to keep having these conversations. The uncomfortable ones. The ones that matter. I miss the V8, and I bet Toyota does too. I'll see you in the next one.